Hey sisters and brothers of life, I pray that you all are staying healthy. Would you like to watch me build my home from the ground up by myself? In the woods? Well, stay tuned in this episode and you will see me build my home from the ground up in the woods. Remember to subscribe to be a part of the Cygnus family. I pray that this inspires you all. Let's get started. Okay, you all, great excitement. It is time to get ready to start building. Okay, first things first. I'm going to have to get the bricks and make sure that the bricks are level. And that is the first step. And then once the bricks are leveled, then it's time to put the plastic sheeting down, and then we'll start building the framework. Let's get started. And now it's time to level this wood board to make sure that the bricks are completely leveled. Before we put the plastic sheeting down, we want to make sure that this is leveled completely, and if it is not, we're going to dig in the ground for one of the bricks. Okay, so according to the leveler, we need to get the shovel and dig that part of where that brick is going to be in order for that to be leveled. Currently digging to level this out. Now we make sure that everything is leveled properly. Center bubble. Center bubble. Center bubble. Center bubble. Very good. Okay, now that everything is leveled, I'm going to take the framing off of their head. Put a little bit of the framing together, but going to take that off in order to put the plastic sheeting down to prevent mold and stuff like that. I'm going to show you all that you got to make sure everything is leveled at the center bubble. So it goes for, we're going in all directions. That center bubble right there. First and foremost, make sure that you always have your safety gear on you. And first is leveling the bricks. Once the bricks are leveled to the approximation, now it is time to put the plastic sheeting down. So let's go ahead and take off these wood boards and then put the plastic sheeting over the bottom of that. And now the plastic sheeting is underneath where the house will be. This definitely is important to do, especially if you want to prevent something like mold, mildew, and etc. So it's nice and clean, just the way we like things to be. Now that the plastic sheeting is underneath where the house will be, it is now time to put the floor frame. Let's get started. This is so exciting. When it comes to putting a floor frame in, always make sure that the shorter side of the house always has the boards going sideways. You do not want to do it long ways, it's not going to be as strong. And so now you all are going to see each board being placed. It is very important to measure 8 inches between each board to ensure this has good strength and durability. You want to make sure that the wood boards are sideways, so that way that would give that enough structure. So if there is weight on there, then that can uphold very well. One very important thing to note is do not screw the screws all the way in until after you've put all of the wood boards in there. That way it will be a lot better to place each wood board there properly. See how the screws are not screwed in all of the way? Wait until after each wood board is 8 inches apart, and then after that, after all of the wood boards are placed in, then it is time to make sure that they're all screwed in place. Now for the hard part. So we got to measure in between each wood board. So this measures 5 inches in between each wood board. So now we have to cut the wood boards 5 inches each After we're done with that, we're going to place it sideways in the middle of this. That way it can have more stability. Let's get started. Currently taking the wood lumber to Neighbor Thomas's to cut this wood for me. I'm excited. Neighbor Thomas is helping to cut the wood. Very thankful. Wanting to let you all know that I did this with supporter beams underneath both middle parts. That way all of the wood boards are supported underneath all the way through from the start to the back. That way that will have more stability and strength. That is also supported by the cider blocks, but those are just extra support beams for the stabilization of the floor frame. Now, another thing is when measuring each piece, so there needs to be 4 pieces in the middle. So what you have to do is for the wood boards that go in between the middle, on the right side, you would measure like this one as number 1, and then skip 1, and then go to number 2, and now this side would have the opposing. While this side would start on the first middle part, the other one would be next to that, closer to the middle, and that would be on the opposite part of that one. I'll show you all that here in just a moment. But first, I also want to show you all the labeling that I have done on these lumber pieces. So, even if you have measured 8 inches per board, some of the boards are a little warped, as you can see in this image here, where that wood board is a little leaned over in the middle, but on the sides, that is straight. And so that means that each middle piece is measured differently. So it is good to label each one of this. So there needs to be 4 spots in the middle that these pieces are going to go in between. Okay, you need to label each one of them separately, right? Because each middle piece may be a different size. And so labeling this is important. This one, for the example, is 3 left middle. So this is going to be the left in the middle, the left side of the building in the middle. So this one here says 7L. So that means this is going to be the 7th one on the right side. And so this one here is the right middle, 7 right middle. So that means this one would go on the right side in the middle. And this one here is 10R, meaning the 10th spot on the very right from the front of the building. So it is important to label each piece. That way you know every piece of where that is going to be placed. Going to be getting this done for the rest of the day, praying to start on the building by the end of the day. This is so exciting. And I pray that you are having a wonderful day. You are such a miracle blessing. And remember that happiness is something that is built over time. So just be patient, be devoted, and always plan accordingly. Have a blessed day with good accomplishments ahead. And as you can see, the pieces that go in between. So while the first row of the pieces in the middle, the columns, you can see that it is the opposite part of the second row of the columns. There is 4 columns, and go over all of the types of things that you need in order to build something like this, and that will be later on in the episode. But as for now, this is something important for stability. Also, the 2 beams underneath the house is definitely very important. That gives that extra support, and that is adjusted for every wood board, so that way there's more stability across the entire platform. So drill that in on one side, take the drill bit off, grab the other drill bit, place that in, grab a screw, put that on, place that. Very good. Take that off, grab the drill bit. We're going to put 2 screws per each side. In order to put the framework for the flooring would be 23 10-footers going sideways, and then 2 12-footers going long ways. And there is also a need to cut up 2 10-footers in order to put the side pieces in. And you got to put 4 rows of side pieces. And you can put some in the middle, and you can do 5 rows, more of so columns. But make sure that there's 2 screws per each from the 2-footers to the 10-footers going sideways, and the ones going long ways, ones that have to be cut up. Make sure there is 4 screws, 2 screws on each side, just to give that more stability. And now that the floor piecing is done, and also, if you can, try to put 2 supporter beams underneath each middle side. That way you'll have a lot more stability on the middle part of the building going all the way through. And you could put 2 little cider blocks underneath the 2 supporter beams for stability. That's just for extra support, and that definitely would do very good. Okay, you all, let's get started to put the plywood on here. By the way, this is day 2 of fasting. So tomorrow's day 3 of fasting.
We are ready to start cleaning and building and singing and getting things ready. Stay strong and steady. And we are ready to have our home. Thankful that the heavens is with me and I am not alone. We will be building and making and creating. And so many things we will do in our bonding. We are ready to start building and making and creating all of the wonderful memories we can be making together forever and always as we make the best of our days, cleansing and converting evil things away. Very good. And now going to be hand sanitizing our hands. Very good. And the stronger that will stand. Very good. Excellent. Do a dance. We do a dance. Very good. As we always keep dance. Very good. Okay, let's get started, brave warriors. And now we got the start to the edges. Now it is time to install the walls in. Have made sure to assemble all of the pieces here before starting on the walls. That way everything can be a faster transition. I do recommend that to everyone, that you assemble all of the bigger pieces before starting on the walls of the building. And now, putting up the wall pieces, great empowerment that we are keeping. While putting up the roof beams, the ladder holds the other side. Excellent efforts in the ways we unite. And now, putting one of the final pieces on the roof now. Now for the roof's final piece, great empowerment that we keep. And now finally putting the last edge piece on the building. And wow, you all, it's taken so long. Literally have stayed awake for 48 hours straight, non-stop building. 48 hours of no sleep, 3 days of fasting. Feeling great. Now had installed the doors, so many details to explore. Make sure to put your anchor screws or nails on the outside and the inside as well. The wood boards and the distance apart from one another. So you need to make sure that that is 16 through 24 inches apart, and this is 18 inches apart. So that's pretty good. And also preparing for the windows very soon. And whenever getting windows, that's when the wall will be taken down to readjust the wood boards. It's time to put the first wall up. So here we go. Get ready. Currently going to uninstall the electrical wiring and then reinstall that into the new building. Electrical wiring is a lot like the fundamentals of the universe. We have the protons, neutrons, and electrons. When you have the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons, that is what keeps energy grounded in the universe. And so practically electricity is the same concept. The black cord is usually the negative cord. The white cord is the positive, and this green cord, or this cord without any covering on the cord, is the neutral. So this positive is like the proton, because protons is the positive energy. The negative is like the electrons, and then the green is like the neutrons for neutral. Electrical wiring is a lot like understanding the universe. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to install the fuse box. So there are holes to where the pre-drills need to be drilled in to put the fuse box onto the wall.
Okay, now you're possibly asking what I'm doing. Well, this hole drills into the ground through the plywood and outside, so that this cord right here can go from being outside to inside. Come on, I'll show you. Now that the spot was found, we'll just grab this and stick this up there. Now this piece is inside, and we can slide this up to the fuse box. And now installing the piece that goes on the inside of the breaker box. And we need to make sure that is screwed in so that is not going to come undone. And here, as you can see, there is 2 holes specifically for this piece to be placed in. And the other side does not have that. So negative wire will go into this breaker box piece, which is right here where the screw is. Now for the last wiring piece, which is the grounding cord. So we have the neutral, the positive, the negative. Then at the bottom, where the cord that goes outside. Yes, this is the neutral, the positive, and the negative. And that is the same one that is connected to this fuse box right here. We have the fuse box off. We would turn the fuse box on if needing to utilize it. And now we can put the piece for the fuse box over this. Just had installed the outlet. So here on the top, we have the positive cord. At the bottom left, we have the neutral. My finger is here. Then on the right side, we have the negative cord here. Make sure that that is wrapped around the entire screw. And now we will plug in the extension cord. And then after we plug it in, we will twist it to where it will be in place. And there is a little bit of gasoline left over to charge this. Just have started the generator. Now it's time to go inside. Yes! Take a look. Everything is charging efficiently. Great diligence for 4 years. Good news, you all. As you can see, I installed another outlet right here. And also, if you can see behind me, I installed a light switch and a light. So with the additional things that you have to do, you have to connect the negative cords together in the light switch, but you do not connect the positive or the neutral wire. You connect that through the light, just because this is a light switch, and so there is no need to connect the positive and neutral wire, only the negative wire. And then with the light switch, you connect the positive, the neutral, and the negative together. And now it is time to do the rest in the fuse box, and I'm going to show you all what you have to do in order to connect multiple things to the fuse box. So all you have to do is you put the neutral wire into the left top piece, and then into the right is the positive cords. There's 2 of them because one of them goes to the light, and then the other one goes to the outlet. And then this outlet connects to the other outlet here. And so these negative cords will connect to the breaker box. And then when we are going to utilize this, we just turn this on. And then if we ever have a difficulty, we just turn that off and then back on. And now it is time to start the generator. Looks like everything is charging efficiently. Now let's check the light. Wow, very good for 4 years. That is a lot better. You want to have a UV ray protection tarp over the metal building. You want to screw the tarp into each corner. Actually screw it into the edges. That way that is packed into the roof and that's not going to be blown off. That also prevents condensation from coming through onto the metal. And so it is important to do that. That is one very good thing of advice I'd give to anyone who has a metal building or a metal roof of any kind. What has to be done when the part of the flooring is larger than the house? Sealant. So you can utilize epoxy resin, which is what I'm going to get very soon, and this kind of polyurethane sealant. Now this is very important to put around the entire edge. That way there is not going to be any leaks. Now any other sealant is not going to be as great. This is the Sika Pro construction sealant. And this is the best recommended kind when it comes to plywood, metal, and concrete. Since I do not have a caulk gun, what I will do is I will cut this container in half and utilize another tool in order to apply this properly. So what I got is an axe and some sealant. So I will apply this just gently along the edges. This is definitely a lot more sealed now. Now checking the outer edges, making sure that everything is sealed very well. all the way around. The problem is, the songs never went viral. Never did pay me, never did support me in the financial sense. And because of that, I have to do what I have to do to lower the bill, pay. And I have to tell this building goodbye. I'm really going to miss this building. This building had so many incredible memories, especially with the songs, the music videos, and special moments. And I had to make the change in order to afford to live better financially. Remember that song by Carrie Underwood. This is my temporary home, not where I belong. Windows and rooms when I'm passing through. This is just a stop on the way to where I'm going. I'm not afraid because I know this is my temporary home. I remember I never had a home as a child. I went to a children's home and academies. I was on missing flyers. Home just did not exist. I would listen to that song by Carrie Underwood a lot. Just another building. Let's get started. Now the temporary walls have been taken down, and as you can see, the electrical wiring will be next to uninstall. So let's go ahead and uninstall the electrical wiring. First, we are going to make sure that everything is unplugged. Let's unplug this. Very good. So all we are going to do is just uninstall this bottom wire piece, and then we're going to pull that out from the house. There we go. And now we're pushing that down and out of the house. And then once we get done with insulating the walls, we'll make sure to install that back. And now we will make sure to pull the cord through. We are going to uninstall the screws. Now that that's done, we can take this out and then put this over on the side of the wall. And now it's time to install the insulation. Woohoo! Let's get started. This is specifically made for metal that gets hot. And this is very special material. It's very specially designed. And here is the adhesive part. So it's a self-adhesive. That means that you just peel off the back and that adhesives to the wall. Now with metal buildings, you have to make sure to insulate the actual metal before the wall frames go up. And so that's why the wall frames had to be put down in order to put the insulation up. In a metal building, before the wall frames go in, there has to go the insulation. Now building the window frame to fit the window frame perfectly. And that would fit the window perfect. I'm very excited. This is how this is being framed to make sure that the frame fits the window completely. Just going to place this in the part that goes outside. And that way it is known that this is going to fit perfectly. Gotten the piece for the window, make sure it was leveled. And now it is time to cut the metal. Now, the metal has been cut to the framing. Great diligence. And now, after all of that time and effort, it is now time to install the window. It's a beautiful fit, you all. Excellent. Very good. Currently cutting the framing for the air conditioner piece. Excellent. Now that was a lot faster than the previous one. Excellent. Very good. Done doing the framing for the window. And that is installed. Great diligence, Brave Oreos. Very good. The house is built, you all. This is such an incredible blessing. And this took a lot of strength, determination, and devotion. And had built this from the ground up to focus on accomplishing and have confidence. It took all of that to be able to do this. And here is the overall look of the house. Tell me what you all think. Also loving how this building matches the little building. And I just pray that I can be inspiring. I pray this episode has helped you all to have confidence and also education
in some way of learning from this. And if you all could promote this, I would greatly appreciate it. And I pray for you all. And remember, when you are subscribed, you're a part of the Side Unit family. I'm thankful for my brothers and sisters of life. And if you all would subscribe, I would appreciate it as well. Lots of songs coming up soon.